How y'all doing tonight? So now we're going to do a simple recipe. We're going to do some burgers. We're going to put some cheese and mushrooms on top of them. It's going to be real good. And some candied bacon. I'm going to give you some instruction on how to make this candied bacon here tonight. It's a really good topping for burgers. And I also used it when I did my shrimp and grits video. I don't know if you go back and watch that one, you'll see I put the candied bacon on there and show how to make it. And this one I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make it first off. Okay, first we're going to start out with some really thick cut bacon here on the baking sheet. I actually put it on a cookie cooling rack on a cookie sheet. We're going to make the stuff to make it candied bacon. What I've got there is some brown sugar. That's probably about a cup, I guess. No really specific measurements you got to use. Now I've got some liquid smoke. And I actually just had a little bit of that left in the bottle. I mixed in some what do you call it? Worcestershire with that. So shaked it up. So put a little bit on there. Just enough. And now watch, it'll start really melting that brown sugar. Like I said, this was a little bit of Worcestershire and a little bit of liquid smoke kind of mixed together. What we're going to do, we're going to let that melt down, that brown sugar. You know, it really won't take as much as you think of the liquid to melt down that much brown sugar. It's going to make a nice thick glaze. Let's see here. I'll give it a stir. And then see how it's turning? It's almost like a fudge or it's like a syrup. Let me get a little more Worcestershire. Okay, put a little bit more of that Worcestershire in there, about a teaspoon, just to thin out. Like normally I don't use this much sugar. I just wanted it to be able to see it really good. Alright, so that's good. You just get it, you know, about like that, like a thick syrup. Now, let me get something to spread it onto this bacon. Make this candied bacon. Okay, so what we're going to do is just dip this brush in there. Go down to one side of the bacon. Now, it doesn't take much. You don't want a whole glob on here. But you just get some on there. Like that. I'll tell you what. This is going to make for some fine bacon. You know, do this side. See, like I did that one. I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. And I got my oven preheated to about 375. Okay, now I did both sides with that sugar glaze. Put a little cracked black pepper on there. I'm going to put them in the oven about 375 and let them sit in there for at least 30 minutes so we get everything else ready. Okay, now I'm starting on the hamburger meat. I've got a pound of ground lamb, a pound of ground 80/20 here. Just going to give it a little unique taste to lamb and the 80/20. I've got a little bit of this Cavender's Greek seasoning. I'm going to try it tonight. Some good stuff. Let's see how much I'm going to put in there. Maybe about, what's it look like? About a teaspoon. Okay. I don't like to put too much stuff in the meat. Maybe a little bit of garlic powder. Well, that was not open. Hold on. Okay. A little bit of garlic powder. Same amount, just about, say about a teaspoon. Let's go with a little bit of Worcestershire. Just a little bit, a few shakes over the top. A lot of people overdo it on that Worcestershire or something. Don't need that. Alright. Now with the hands, just get in here, just mix this up just a little bit. Okay, just fold it in. Like so. That should be good. Now we'll transfer this back to the refrigerator just a little bit and let it chill out. Tell you what, before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and just make some patties. Alright, we'll make some large patties here. So, try to make this into about 4 patties. I'll give a take here on Each one of these. Take a little bit off these. Make about 4 even patties. Go back and forth a little bit. You've seen me do this before. Other burger videos. Alright, just making a nice sized patty here. Just make 4 of those up and stick this in the fridge. Okay, looks like our candied bacon's just about done. I just took it out of the oven for a second. Give it a flip. Wow. It's got the gorgeous color on it. It's going to be some good stuff. So anyway, I'm going to flip this, put it back in the oven, and we'll get the other condiments ready. Okay, well the bacon's finishing up, and go ahead and get these burgers started. So just put them down here in this pan. Got some hot oil. I want to turn up just a little bit more. Get everything going. My rule with burgers in the cast iron skillet, usually let them go about 5 minutes before I flip them. Set the timer. Alright. Those burgers are cooking. Just finish up that wonderful candied bacon. Look at that stuff. I tell you what, that's awesome. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and let that drain and cool there for a minute on that rack while I finish up the burgers. Okay, now I'll flip these after the first 5 minutes. Go ahead and put that lid on there to try to keep some of that grease from popping out so much. Well, somewhat. That'll help some. Now, one thing you really won't see done in my house is pressing down on the burger while it's cooking. And also, you really won't see me cook burgers on the grill. Not on that grill I got out there. That's that infrared heat grill. It gets so hot. What it's going to do is it's going to melt that fat real quick and it's going to flare up and it's going to burn those burgers. Well, a charcoal grill, that's a different story. If you can get those coals just right and everything, burgers turn out pretty good. But the grill, the particular grill I got, not good for cooking burgers. And I really like the taste of burgers on the cast iron grill. Okay, now after this additional 5 minutes, go ahead and take these off. And they're still pretty raw, probably not cooking up in the middle. So we'll set it over here on this pan that had that bacon on. By the way, that bacon's done. I'll show it to you in a minute. It's awesome. Okay? Set it over here on this pan and we'll stick this in the oven. Let these continue to cook. Alright? And we're not done with that pan and everything yet. So what we're going to do, I'm going to drain some of this oil out of here. And now what I did, I went ahead and drained that hamburger grease out there and poured that bacon grease. Poured those bacon drippings in there. Now, let's go on with some sliced onions. This will be good for the topping. Let's caramelize some onions in here. These dishes on about medium heat. And just let them cook. Look at that. They're going to get some great color on them. We'll start getting some good color on them onions. Let's put some mushrooms in there. How about it? Go ahead and saute them down too. By the way, this candied bacon turned out fantastic. Stuff is awesome. A little snack on a piece. One of these saute and even caramelize. Put a little bit of salt on them to give them a little bit of flavor. Put a little salt on them onions. Go ahead and crack some cracked black on them. Good there. Oh yeah. Just give it a little flavor. Like I said, we're just going to let these sit there. I've turned my fire down to low. And let those onions just caramelize. It's going to be real good. Real good. You can't beat that. Meanwhile, let's go make a sauce. Okay, we're gonna make kind of a little barbecue mayonnaise here. Alright, we got some blue plate. If you can't get blue plate in your part of the country, I'm sorry. I hate that for you. But it's the best mayonnaise you'll ever have. A little drop of the Worcestershire. Hold on, let me get something out of here. On a little bit. Just a breath off of that cayenne pepper. Just give it a little bit of heat. And now, put a little dose of your favorite barbecue sauce, something like that. Okay? We're not trying to make a big barbecue sauce here. It really needs to be mostly mayonnaise, because it's going to serve a purpose, not just taste. Okay? Go ahead and stir that up. Stir that up. So you get like tannish color. That's perfect right there. Now when you put that in the ice box, let that get cold. Give it a taste. I'm short. That's how we want. Alright. One more thing I'm going to put in there. I put a little bit more cayenne. I'm going to put some of this steak seasoning. Got a little bit of that house steak seasoning. Like I said, it's mainly salt and pepper, garlic powder. Let that give it a hit. Alright? Okay. See how the onions, everything's starting to release all the juice. Starting to caramelize a little bit. The mushrooms starting to cook. But one more ingredient I'm going to put in here. I've got some of this stuff I use, this bouillon paste, this beef. Better than bouillon. Just going to put a little bit on the end of this butter knife. And mix it on in there. That's going to give it a nice, rich beef flavor. So we'll mix that on into the onions and the mushrooms and everything. Okay, let's build this burger now. We got my meat here. What I'm going to do, some of these, oh man, these onions, these mushrooms. You see how that's just beautiful on there. Can't beat that. Top of this caramelized onions and the mushrooms. Okay. Hit with a piece of cheese. Let's see. Let me get this little strip on there too. Now, creme de la creme. Let's hit it with some of this caramelized, this candied bacon. Get a couple strips of that on there. Maybe go with a little bit more of this cheese. Crossways like this. Now we'll put this back in the oven and let that melt on there and let this bread get warm. Okay, let's build this beautiful creation. Alright, we've got a nice onion bun here. Go ahead and put a little bit of this mayo that we made on here. Now, the purpose of this mayo, besides just flavor, what it does is it builds up a cold, fatty, almost like a barrier between the meat and the bun, which doesn't let all that juice, that hot fat, flow down to the bun as quickly, and it really keeps the bun from getting so soggy so soon. It also tastes very good. So go ahead and put a little layer of this on there. Okay, like our barbecue mayo there. Now let's get this guy here over here. Wow, look at that. Yum. Okay, there we go. Set it past that bun like that, and that's just gorgeous. Gorgeous hamburger. We'll go ahead and put the top on her. Give it just the first press down, the whole deal. And you can see that is a fabulous, zoom in there, fabulous looking burger. You can see all that candied bacon, your onions, your cheese, gooiness. We're about to cut it on open. Okay, let's cut this guy open. Hope we don't make too big of a huge mess. Start with a serrated knife here. It's gonna be short and sweet there. Alright. Look at that. Oh, Oh yeah, that's just perfect burger, A+. Okay, now for the important part, let's get a taste. This might be kind of messy. Wow, look at that. That's something else right there. A1. That is freaking awesome. You gotta try that burger. I'm telling you, with that candy bacon, that lamb, that beef, it is freaking awesome.